This lesson is on slope-intercept form given a table. So we want to create an equation given in a table, and it must be in slope-intercept form. So here's our first table. If we look, we need to find the y-intercept and the slope. Okay, so the slope is going to be the change in y's divided by the change in x's. So I need to figure out how is the y value changing. Okay, well, I noticed my numbers. I've got -3 and 5. Well, first of all, I noticed that I'm increasing, so I know I'm going to add by something. And then from -3 to a +5, I end up going 8. That's 8 units. So you can look at it like this. If I take -3 to get to 0, that's 3 units. And then 0 to 5 would give me 5 units. And then the 3 and the 5 together would give me 8. So that's how I know that I've gone by increasing by 8 units for my y values. Now let's look at our x values. Okay, I'm increasing, I'm getting to a bigger number, and so I'm going to add, and I increased by 2 units. So my x values, I have a change by a +2. So if you write your slope formula, you're going to write the change in the y's divided by the change in the x's. The change in my y's for this example was a +8 divided by the change in the x's. The x's was a +2. And then I just simply divide. 8 divided by 2 would give me a +4. So I know my slope here would be a 4 in my equation. Okay, so we found the slope. Let's find the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept is where you're going to have a point at x equals 0 on the y-axis. So you're looking in the table to find where x equals 0. So I notice in my table I have 0, -3 for this example. So I have a coordinate point for my y-intercept at 0, -3. That means that the b value in my equation would be the y value, which is -3 of that coordinate point. So b would equal -3 here. So if I have my slope of 4 and my y-intercept at -3, I can plug in my slope and my y-intercept. So I get y equals 4x minus 3. And that would be the equation given that table. Okay, let's look at a different example. Okay, my other example I have, I'm going to find the change in my y's. So how is my y's changing? Well, I noticed from 0 to 2 I'm increasing, so I'm going to add, and there are 2 units, so I added by 2 units. That's the change in my y's. Now I look at the change in my x's. I notice that I'm also increasing on the x side, and from -6 to 0 is 6 units, so I've got a +6 in the change in the x values. So I go to create my slope. I write down the change of the y's divided by the change in the x's. That will equal, the change in the y's was a +2, and then the change in the x's was a +6. Now if you'll notice, 2 over 6 does not reduce to a whole number, so I find that they have a 2 in common. So if I divide both parts by 2, 2 divided by 2 would give me 1. 6 divided by 2 would give me a 3. So I notice that I have a slope for this example of a +1/3. Okay, so let's go on to the y-intercept. Remember, you're looking for the x value of 0 because that is where our y-axis is. So all our y-intercepts will have a point where it is x equals 0. In this particular table, I have 0, 2. So my coordinate point for my y-intercept is at 0, 2. That means that the y value in that coordinate point is your b value in your equation. So I know that I have a b value of 2, +2. So now I can go to my slope-intercept form equation, y equals mx plus b, plug in the slope, which is m, I put it in as 1/3. And then the y-intercept, which is the b value, I plug it in as a 2. So my equation is y equals 1/3 x plus 2. This is a lesson on slope-intercept form given a table.